Sword 9 states record 2nd state. 5 elements continent. The protagonist travels through the 2nd state, with multiple professions and elements of the 5 elements. It is unknown what people and events the protagonist will encounter in the 2nd state. Chapter 1 Reincarnation. The 5 elements continent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A young man stood quietly at the edge of the cliff and said, "Jianyu, don't stop me. It's useless, things have already happened, I must do something." Then he turned around and jumped off the cliff. The child behind the boy cried and shouted, "Brother, don't leave me." The young man suddenly woke up and thought to himself, "I am." Looking at his intact body and black hair, the young man fell into contemplation and said, "I am not in a battle with the Qianlong Manor Lord." Su Hao said, "Ahahaha, I finally woke up." The young man asked, "Old man, where am I?" Su Hao said, "To put it bluntly, this is the continent before me, called the 5 elements continent." The young man spoke up and said, "Am I dead now?" "I am now." The young man asked, and Su Hao sighed, "I didn't expect the Su family to become what they are now. I think I also led the Su family to the peak back then." The young man asked, "What do you mean, old man? Explain the white dot." Su Hao said, "The family you belong to is the Su family. You are now the son of the Su family leader, Su Jianyu. This family was once glorious when I broke through the peak of the 9-star and 9 transformation realm. Unfortunately, sigh." Su Jianyu woke up and walked to the window, where he saw patches of farmland outside. There were still many people busy in the fields. Su Jianyu said, "So that's it. It seems like this is a new beginning." Suddenly there was a knock on the door, and Su Jianyu walked to the door to open it. A child's voice rang out, "Brother, if you don't get up yet, if you don't, I'll go find my dad." Su Haodao said, "This is your sister, Su Xuanhuan." Su Jianyu looked at the little sister's puffy cheeks and smiled as he touched her head. Su Xuanhuan took his hand away and said, "Don't touch my head. My mom has said that if you touch my head, you won't grow taller." Su Jianyu smiled awkwardly. Su Xuanhuan spoke up and said, "Get up, go eat, or else dad will hit you." After making a funny face, she ran down the stairs. Su Jianyu walked downstairs, the food had already been prepared, and the whole family was waiting for him. Su Jianyu's mother's name is Baizhou, and his father's name is Su Ming. Baizhou said, "Yu, why do you wake up so late? I'll be waiting for you soon." Su Ming: "You kid, why don't you do something every day and wake up so late? Come over and have dinner quickly." Su Jianyu walked up to the dining table and sat down. The family had a meal, chatting and laughing. He had never experienced such a happy and harmonious eating scene when he was reborn, and he really enjoyed this feeling. After dinner, Su Ming went to handle the affairs of the clan, Baizhou started doing housework, Su Jianyu went out to take a look when he saw that he had nothing to do, and Su Jianyu saw a mountain climbing to the top and began to gaze into the distance. Looking around at the vast farmland in the enclosed valley, Su Jianyu suddenly fainted from a sharp pain in his mind. "I saw in a daze that everyone was pressuring me, my father paid for his own skills, and my own brother witnessed the Su family's Qingyu jumping off a cliff." Su Hao: Kid, wake up." Su Jianyu slowly opened his eyes. Su Hao: "Are you okay, kid?" Su Jianyu said, "It's okay, I just saw some bad memories." Su Hao: "What memories? Let's talk about them." Su Jianyu said, "At that time, all families sent experts to a place to search for treasures, but they were ambushed by a poison master and came back with 2 people. One was my brother, Su Jichen, and the other was Ouyang Tai. The Ouyang family accused my brother of being an undercover agent in the poison state, and my brother had no choice but to jump off a cliff and prove his innocence. Unfortunately, the Ouyang family also said that my brother was afraid of committing suicide, and my father was forced to pay for his own skills to protect the Su family. Su Hao was furious and said, "What? Just the Ouyang family? I didn't pay much attention to them back then. How dare they falsely accuse my Su family like this?" Su Tianyu said, "There's nothing we can do. After you leave, the Su family hasn't seen any more experts, so we slowly moved from the main state to this remote valley." Su Hao thought for a moment and said, "Although my request is a bit excessive, please help the Su family." Su Hao bowed with both hands. Su Tianyu said, "Since I have come here, I am naturally one of the members of the Su family. Besides, my parents are so kind to me. How could I not help? But my strange door and 8 shields are locked for some reason, and even tailoring cannot summon them. There is also a Tai Chi protective mirror that is still there, but—" Su Hao said, "Cutting clothes is because your last strike was too powerful and you fell into a deep sleep. The other reason why you can't open it is because of this world, which is called the 5 Elements continent. Everyone has the opportunity to awaken the element and become a Xuanjia. Becoming a Xuanjia can obtain related cultivation techniques. You can't use these now just because you haven't awakened the element and haven't practiced. Of course, since there is a chance, there are also people who can't awaken. After awakening, you can practice through meditation." Su Hao said, "After awakening the elements, there is the first stage. Beginner Elemental Master, Intermediate Elemental Master, and Advanced Elemental Master. Each level is divided into 3 stars, and once you become a 3-star Advanced Elemental Master, you can make breakthroughs. After breaking through, you enter the second stage. Copper refining, silver melting, and black gold. These 3 stages are divided into 4 stages. 1 stage, 9 stars, 9 stars per star, and 9 stars and 9 black gold. After 9 stars and 9 black gold, you will reach the final stage. Advanced stage, transformation stage, climbing the peak, eliminating dust, and Lingyun. This star level is the same as the second stage, but its nature is different. The third stage of cultivation is very slow and requires talent, so most people cannot reach this stage of cultivation." Su Tianyu said, "I understand. How can we awaken the elements?" Su Hao said, "Don't worry about this. The day when you awaken the elements is coming, and there will be people from the main state who come specifically to various villages to help people awaken the elements." Su Tianyu said, "Since I don't have to worry, I should practice some self-defense skills. Fortunately, I memorized the barbaric martial arts left by my master at that time, so let's start practicing." Su Hao. "Well, practicing something for self-defense is always good." As the sun sets in the west, the young man is sweating profusely while practicing boxing, just to revitalize the Su family. Chapter 2. Element Awakening. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Within a month, Su Tianyu woke up every day after eating and went to practice boxing, leaving behind some skills. 1 month later, Su Ming called out to Su Tianyu. "Su Ming. Tianyu, don't go practicing today. Follow me to Elemental Awakening today." Su Tianyu. "Okay, father." Baizhou. "Yu, your father has been waiting for a long time for this awakening. He plans to let you marry the girl from the Lu family after your elemental awakening." Su Tianyu. "When did I get married? When did I get married?" Su Ming said, "Oh, my question. Have you been practicing martial arts every day lately? So I forgot to tell you that our Su and Lu families have already been engaged to each other. It was arranged by your ancestor Su Hao and Lu Lin, the ancestors of the Lu family. As long as both families give birth to a son and a daughter, they will become husband and wife. The marriage certificates are all here, so we need to sign them." Su Tianyu said, "Oh, what? I don't know." Baizhou. "Yu, our 2 families are close friends, you should treat them well." Su Tianyu looked bewildered, but he also vaguely accepted. Half a day later, Su Ming led Su Tianyu to the Elemental Awakening Hall, where a middle-aged man stood in front of the hall. The middle-aged man spoke up and said, Qingshu Academy, Han He, is responsible for this elemental awakening. Come on, children who need awakening. Su Ming. Go to Tianyu. Su Tianyu said, okay. Then he followed everyone into the big store. Han He. Stand in a row, I am Han He, a 3-star intermediate elemental master who will awaken your elements. You come first. Han He pointed to the child on one side, who walked forward and stood still. Han He said, don't move, all things in the wood wake up. Several vines shot out from behind Han He and wrapped the child around him. Han He said, don't be afraid, relax and guide your strength to the center. In no time, the vines will withdraw. Han He sighed and said, you don't have elements, you can't become a mystic. The boy walked back disappointed. Han He. Next. After several consecutive days, there were no occurrences of possessing elements. Han He said, it seems that this time it's for nothing again. Why is the Su family not as good as each generation? Come here. Han He pointed to Su Tianyu, who followed the instructions and walked towards Han He. Han He releases the vine and awakens. Su Tianyu felt like there was something like a shackle in his body that was about to be opened, but it wasn't fully opened. Han He. This guy. After the awakening ended, everyone walked out of the awakening hall. Su Ming leaned forward and asked, Elder Han He, does our clan have the ability to become the Xuanzhe? Han He said, no. Su Ming. Oh, isn't there anything? My son Su Tianyu doesn't have either. Han He said, he doesn't have any elements. Alright, I got it. I'm leaving and I have to go to the next one. Su Ming couldn't believe it. He asked Su Tianyu, do you really have no elements? Su Tianyu. Yes. Su Ming. I know now. Let's go home. It's really unlucky for my Su family. The two of them returned home. Baizhou spoke up and asked, how is it? What elements of my son's awakening? Su Tianyu. Mom, I don't have any elements. Baizhou was stunned. Su Ming spoke up and said, I can't accept it. Why doesn't my son have elements? He works so hard every day to cultivate. Why? Baizhou said, it's nothing, it's just that there are no elements. It's not a big deal. If it's a big deal, let him inherit the Su family. Su Ming said, I know, let me be quiet now. Then he returned to the room. Su Tianyu didn't say anything and went back to the room. Su Tianyu. Old man, what's wrong with your tribe? Su Hao said, there's nothing we can do. Our genes are typical differentially expressed genes, and I have only reached the realm through hard work and opportunities. Su Tianyu said, what should I do? I don't have any elements, how can I help you? Su Hao said, let me think, there are not only mystics here. You can learn something else. I found many books when I was marching on the mainland before. Forget it, you can come in and read it yourself. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Tianyu was pulled into his necklace. Su Tianyu. What is this place? Su Hao said, how about it? It's impressive. Here is my space necklace, which can hold everything. Inside the necklace is a strange space, and when entering the strange space, there is a bridge. Walking over the bridge, a huge circular stone platform catches the eye, with a pavilion in the middle of the platform. Su Hao said, how about this necklace? It's something that others don't have. Su Tianyu said, my soul has come in. Su Hao. That's right. Su Tianyu said, isn't it that I can practice martial arts during the day, and my soul can also practice here at night? Su Hao said, of course. Su Hao led Su Tianyu into the pavilion and opened a circular stone plate at the bottom of the pavilion. Below the stone plate was a well. Su Hao pushed Su Tianyu down directly. Su Tianyu. Old man, it's best for you to sleep with your eyes open at night. Su Hao smiled and followed suit. I only discovered at the bottom that here, there are mountains, dense forests, lakes, and waterfalls, making it a paradise. Su Tianyu. Old man, do you usually live here? Su Hao. Of course not here, but there. Su Tianyu said, this is so big. What do you mean by learning something else? Su Hao. Follow me. The two walked to a wooden house halfway up the mountain, where books were scattered and piled up into a mountain. Su Hao said, this is the spirit talisman technique. Consider becoming a spirit talisman master and creating talismans to assist in battles. The most I have is about spirit talismans. Su Tianyu said, since that's the case, let's treat it as a spiritual talisman. Anyway, from the beginning, it's much worse than others. We have to work hard. Su Hao. Let's start then. Afterwards, Su Tianyu practiced martial arts during the day and learned talismans and marks with his soul at night. Baizhou spoke up and said, are you saying that Yu is crazy? Isn't he lacking in elements? Su Ming said, alas, even though he works so hard, I can't help him anything. Baizhou. Why don't you advise him? I heard that the alchemist is also good and respected. Why don't you let Yu give it a try? At least there's a way out. Su Ming said, well, we have to consider his future. He won't make any progress by practicing like this every day, after all, he doesn't have any elements. Chapter 3. Danyao Apprentice. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Su Tianyu. Is that the old man? Su Hao. That's right, 1-star low-level monster, Lawn Scorpion. Su Tianyu. Okay, my first talisman. Su Hao. Lawn Scorpion, 1-star low level, his blood is a good material for making low-level immobilization talismans. Low-level immobilization talismans can immobilize enemies for 10 seconds, which is enough now. Be careful of his tail, it is poisonous. Su Tianyu said, I don't care about him. His strength is like a mountain opening fist. Half an hour later Su Tianyu said, haha, finally done. My first talisman, although it's a low-level one, is it? Su Hao said, not bad, not bad. Even if you can't win, you can still have a chance to run. Su Tianyu. Let's go back. Su Tianyu returned home with an additional stranger. Su Ming. Tianyu, you're back. This is our alchemist. Su Shidao, come over and say hello. Su Tianyu. Hello, Mr. Su. Su Shidao responded with a smile. Su Ming. Since we all know each other, let's come and learn from them. Su Tianyu. Master, what kind of master? I don't. Su Shi said, this. Su Ming's face stiffened and he said, don't be childish. Come and learn from your master. You don't even have elements and can't be a mystic. A pill master is also good and can be respected. Su Tianyu said, I don't want to be a mystic. Otherwise, what is the purpose of my daily cultivation? Without elements, I can't practice anymore. Su Ming was furious and said, bastard, how could you possibly cultivate without elements? You've played enough in these years and should be content. This is your destiny. Su Tianyu said, what fate? That was fate given to me by heaven. I make my own destiny. Although I don't have elemental power, I don't have the heart to only rely on abacus and flipping through the ledger like you do for a lifetime. Su Ming. Okay, don't you worship me, Su Lao, please take a seat. Su Ming pointed to the main seat. Su Shidao said, isn't that good? Su Ming directly pulled Su Shidao to the main position. Su Ming said, okay, if you don't worship, I will worship on your behalf. Mr. Su is here, and today I will worship you on behalf of my son. He then knelt down. Su Tianyu. Father. Su Shidao quickly stood up and said, Clan leader, absolutely not at all. Su Shidao quickly pulled Su Ming up and said, Don't worry, you can rest assured that this child will be handed over to me in the future. Su Ming. Thank you very much, Tianyu. Tomorrow, I will go with Su to learn the art of elixirs. Su Tianyu saw that his father had no choice but to accept it. The next day, Su Tianyu and Su Shidao arrived at the Su family pharmacy. There was an apprentice waiting inside, and after Su Shidao handed him over to that apprentice, he went to take care of the medicine field. Apprentice. You're new here. First, lock these Lu Jinu grass gates. Remember to only lock the roots, don't lock too many gates. Su Tianyu said, Oh. After finishing speaking, he impatiently picked up the guillotine and put the herbs inside without even looking, clicking it. After seeing it, the apprentice shouted, You have too many gates. If your master sees you, it's time to curse again. Su Tianyu. After speaking, he put on the brakes slightly more seriously. Apprentice. I heard you've practiced it before. I've learned a few moves at the martial arts competition hall recently, and I'll show you. After speaking, Su Tianyu started practicing with extremely non-standard martial arts. He was speechless for a moment and ignored him. At night, apprentice. By the way, my master said to wipe these medicinal wine bottles clean, so I'll leave them to you. Su Tianyu said, Oh. He took the cloth and started wiping it. As he rubbed it, he fell asleep for some reason. The next day, Su Shidao brought his disciples to take a look and found that all the wine in the jar was gone, while Su Tianyu was still sleeping with the jar in his arms. Su Shidao woke up Su Tianyu in a fit of anger and said, You're still asleep, I'm asking you about the wine. Su Tianyu rubbed his eyes and said, That's right here. Ah, wine. Su Tianyu looked at the wine jar in his hand, which was empty, and there were also many wine jars nearby that were also empty. Teacher Su said, Come on, you two have held him down. I should ask him about the wine carefully. Two apprentices pressed Su Tianyu against the table, and Su Shidao picked up a vine and spanked Su Tianyu's buttocks. Su Shi said, When your father handed you over to me, he said that if you make a mistake, you should be severely punished. I asked you, Where is my wine? Su Tianyu. I don't know, ah. Su Shidao said, I don't admit it yet, do I? Su Shidao drew his vines one after another. Su Tianyu. No, I really don't know, ah. At night, Su Tianyu entered the necklace with a bewildered expression on his face. There were bottles and jars next to the pavilion, clearly indicating that they were Su Shidao's medicinal wine. Su Tianyu said, Old man, is the wine good to drink? You're not choking your teeth after drinking so much. He clenched his fists as he spoke. Su Hao lay there and said, It's okay, it would be even better if we had a plate of lamb. Su Tianyu. My lamb, your grandmother. Kaishan fist, splitting mountain fist, shadowless fist. Baizhou, Lu family. The head of the Lu family, Lu Simu, is talking to Lu Shaoqian. Liusimu said, Qianer, really, I've figured it out. Lu Shaoqian said, I've figured it out, father. Although our families are close friends, the Su family is now desolate. In addition, Su Tianyu from the Su family is a useless person who doesn't even have any elements. I heard that he is still serving as an apprentice to someone else, and we haven't even met before. I can't accept that my fiancé AE is a useless person. Liusimu said, Indeed, since you think so, let's set off tomorrow to get married. If not, the two families will lose contact. Anyway, the Su family is of no use now. Lu Shaoqian. It's all up to my father's arrangement. Chapter 4. Agreements. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Tianyu was pulled home by his own sister early in the morning. Su Tianyu said, "What are you doing? I still have grass and no gates, otherwise that old man should curse again." Su Ming said, "It's okay, I helped you take a day off today. It's your engagement banquet today, and you should dress up well." With a smile, he pulled Su Tianyu to find Baizhou. "Baizhou. You, come and see what this clothes look like." "What about these clothes?" Su Tianyu smiled and said, "No matter what, it's up to the mother." On this day, the whole clan was busy with work. At this moment, Lu Qing, the pharmacist of the Lu family pill, found Su Ming. Su Ming smiled and said, "So, are you still used to staying in this hotel, Lord Lu?" Lu Qing said, "The head of the household is very satisfied, but he has been constantly worried lately." To make a long story short, you can see that the Su family is like this now. It's incomparable to the Lu family. After saying this, he took out a small box. Lu Qing said, 3-star advanced pill, echo pill. While taking this may not be 100%, it is possible for Master Su's strength to recover to 70.8%. Su Ming's smile gradually faded from his face and he said, "So what does this Lu family leader mean? He wants to withdraw from the marriage. It seems that our Su family has become lonely, and we are starting to withdraw now." Lu Qing said, "You don't have to think that way. It's just that miss, he has never met with the noble young master before. Now that the Su family is not a master, I hope the Su family leader can take this pill. There is also a chance to lead the Su family back to the peak in the future." Su Ming said, "This pill is indeed good, but if I want to exchange it for my son's lifelong affairs, I cannot agree. If I want to divorce, I will ask the head of the Lu family to come in person. Please take the pill and go back." Lu Qing wanted to continue persuading, but when he saw Su Ming's expression, he gave up and left in frustration. On the second day, the engagement banquet, Su Ming sat in the main seat and greeted the Lu family with a smile on his face, but the head of the Lu family, Lu Simu, remained expressionless, and so did the other members of the Lu family. Su Ming said, "You have come all the way, it has been hard. Tianyu will not offer you a toast, Uncle Lu." Su Tianyu said, "Yes." After speaking, he picked up his glass and stood up. "Uncle Lu, I toast you." Lai Yusumu didn't respond. Su Tianyu looked at Su Ming, who nodded. Su Tianyu walked up to Lai Yusumu and said, "Uncle Lu, I toast you." Lai Yusumu took the glass but didn't drink it and placed it on the table. Lu Qing. Su Xian niece, don't worry. It's not too late to drink after the master finishes speaking. Lai Yusumu said, "Brother Su, my daughter has been accepted as a closed-door disciple by the leader of the Xianjian Tibetan sect, Xuanhuan. He also believes that it is important to cultivate now, so please take back the marriage certificate." Su Ming said, "Brother Lu, what does this mean? This engagement was made by our ancestors. How could we just say we should withdraw?" Lai Yusumu said, "Brother Su, our two families have different statuses now. We hope you can take it seriously." The guard next to Lai Yusumu couldn't help but say, "We just looked down on your Su family. What's wrong with your Su Tianyu? He's just a waste and doesn't deserve our young lady." Su Ming. "You." Su Tianyu looked at Lu Shaoqian and said, "What do you mean?" Lu Shaoqian said, "I listened to my father, and besides, we are not suitable for each other." Su Tianyu said, okay, anyway, I've never seen you before. You're too ordinary to be my Su family's daughter. Law. Lu Shaoqian. You. The nearby guard was furious and said, "How dare you even look down on the young lady, just you trash." Then he jumped up in the air and hit a fireball from his palm. Su Ming said, "Be careful, Tianyu." As he spoke, he jumped up in front of Su Tianyu to block him, only to be injured. Su Tianyu. "Father. You have been bullying people too much." Lai Yusumu said, "Since everything has gone like this, Chiener, take down that kid and get the marriage certificate back." Lu Shaoqian said, "It's my father." After speaking, he jumped up and hit Su Tianyu, the power of gold, the slippery thorn. Su Tianyu said, "Strength is like opening a mountain fist." The two sides collided in attacks, and Su Tianyu was hit to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. Su Hao. Intermediate 3-star Elemental Master, this little Ni has a good talent, no wonder she can become Snow Old Man's closed-door disciple. Just as Lu Shaoqian was about to receive the wedding letter on the table. The law of water, the power of bullets. A water droplet flew towards Lu Shaoqian and suddenly exploded, knocking her down. Ha ha ha, it's fun now. The Lu family has a great reputation for bullying the small, said one person. Lai Yusumu said, "This is a matter between our two families. Who is causing trouble? Since you are so bullied, why don't we stay at home and have fun with you?" the person said. Lai Yusumu. Frozen home. Is it? Frozen home, frozen inflammation, why don't we come and play? Frozen inflammation spoke up. Lai Yusumu said, No, how can we bother with such small matters like this? Leng Yen said, "It's not fun for you to bully others with so many people. Otherwise, I'll help you hold the marriage certificate. Now that the Su family is still too weak, should we do this? Give him 5 years to make their own decision. If the Su family wins, the Su family will dismiss Lu Shaoqian. If you win, the Su family will no longer have any contact with you, and the marriage will be invalidated. How about that?" Lai Yusumu looked at the small water droplet floating in the air in front of her and said, "Okay, they can handle it." After the water droplet disappeared from her eyes, Lai Yusumu sighed. Lu Shaoqian got up and said, "Okay, 5 years later, I'll be waiting for you at the Xianjian Tibetan sect." Su Tianyu, after speaking, "I'll leave the door." Lai Yusumu led his people to leave the Su family as well. Freeze Yen walked up to Su Ming and Su Tianyu and said, "Su family kid, I can only help you get here. You need to work hard. By the way, Uncle Su, my dad asked me to take him and say hello to you." After finishing speaking, he picked up the wedding letter and left, saying as he walked, "It's not fun, it's not fun." Su Tianyu. "Father, are you okay?" Su Ming said, "I'm fine. It's all because your father didn't have the ability to make you suffer." Su Tianyu said, "Whatever your father says, you can rest assured to take good care of the Su family. I'll leave the rest to you. In 5 years, I'll personally take care of her." Chapter 5. Secret Technique, Willow Leaf 3 Swordsmanship. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After the Lu family and the Frozen family left, Su Ming ordered people to tidy up the living room and then led Su Tianyu back home. As Su Tianyu helped his father enter the door, Baizhou exclaimed in surprise, "Brother Ming, why are you injured? And you, your injury is not light." Su Tianyu said, "I don't care, it's mainly my father." Baizhou helped Su Ming sit down at the back, and Su Tianyu also found a seat to sit down. "Baizhou. What's going on? Didn't you get engaged?" Su Ming said, "Hee, engagement. If it weren't for the child of the Frozen family today, whether your husband and Tianyu could have survived would have been a question. If it weren't for the young master of the Frozen family making a 5-year agreement for Tianyu, perhaps the Su family would have suffered a great disaster today. It's just that in 5 years, Tianyu." Su Tianyu said, "Father doesn't need to care about me. Take good care of yourself first, and in 5 years, I will fight for justice between my father and me." Su Tianyu's words had reached this point, and Su Ming and Baizhou didn't say much either. They both went back to the room in a moment. At night, in the mountains and forests behind the mountain, a middle-aged and young woman crushed a jade pendant. In no time, a black shadow flew up to the woman and knelt on one knee, saying, "Mississippi." The woman spoke up and said, "The person who injured Minga in the Lu family today died. By the way, I told the old man to suppress the business of the Lu family. My dear son, I can't bear to fight him myself. The Lu family is really brave. The Frozen family can help lift the siege today and give me some help. The dark figure said, what, young master? How about giving the Lu family? Woman. No need, my son has an agreement with his daughter. Let my son decide what will happen in 5 years. You can go ahead and get busy. The black figure said, yes. After speaking, it turned into a black mist and flew towards the Lu family. On the second day, in the courtyard of the Lu family, yesterday the guard was divided into several pieces, with scattered limbs pieced together into a single word for death. Liusimu was afraid that spreading it would harm his reputation, so he kept it hidden from the public. Liusimu said, you can quietly infiltrate my Lu family and kill invisibly. This person has extraordinary strength, and Lu Qing will strengthen his patrols. Lu Qing. Yes, sir. Freeze home, father, the Lu family has divorced this time and injured the young master of the Su family in Su Ming, said Frozen Inflammation. Ling Yang said, ha ha ha, this Lu family is really stupid. Who dared to provoke the Su family at that time? I really forgot that their Lu Lin agreed to such a marriage based on their relationship with Su Hao. Otherwise, it would be the Lu family. What is the Lu family? They wouldn't really think that the Su family would be easily bullied now that they are lonely. Fortunately, Lu Lin is currently traveling to the mainland. If he finds out that his unworthy descendants have left their marriage and vomited blood, Yan heir, remember to make good friends with the Su family young master in the future. The Su family is something we can't afford to provoke. Hee Lu family, when Su Hao comes back, I'll see how you end up. Frozen Inflammation. I know, father. Su Tianyu was pulled down by Su Xiaohua to eat as soon as he woke up. Baizhou. Yu, get up, come and eat when you get up. Su Tianyu. Okay. The family gathered together for breakfast. After having breakfast, Su Tianyu was about to go to the pharmacy when he was stopped by Su Ming. Su Ming said, you don't need to go to the medicine manor. I asked you to go there before because you didn't have the elemental power to be afraid of being bullied by others. Now that you have an agreement, you definitely don't need to go again. Remember, you are a man, and you must abide by the agreement you promised. Even if you climb up the immortal sword sect for 5 years, you still have to climb up to it. Although my Su family doesn't have geniuses, I will never be someone who doesn't believe in injustice. Do you understand? Su Tianyu. I understand, father. Su Ming. Okay, Gigi, take it out. Baizhou responded and went to the back to take out a sword box. Su Ming opened it and took out a wooden sword and a book from inside. Su Ming said, Su Hao, the ancestor of the Su family, created the willow leaf sword technique himself. Although there were only 3 moves, human power is superior to heaven. Even if the 3 moves are practiced well, the willow wood sword can be cut off. Today, I will deliver it to you. Su Ming handed it to Su Tianyu. Su Tianyu took it and said, Father, don't worry, I will work hard. Su Ming said, I know my son has been working hard. You practice first, and I'll teach you when I'm done. After touching Su Tianyu's head, he went to the Su family council hall to continue doing calculations and flipping through the ledger. After Su Tianyu and Baizhou talked, they went to the top of the back mountain. Su Tianyu. Old man, have you woken up? Su Hao. I woke up early, what's wrong? Su Tianyu. How should you practice this willow wood sword? Su Hao said, it's been a long time since we last saw each other. The sword that accompanied me in the battles of the south and north is a tribute to the end of the past. This move is called the 3 Swords of Willow Leaves. It was created by me when I saw that my clan's qualifications were too low. When refined to perfection, it can chop gold and stones. Su Tianyu. How should we practice? Su Hao. Isn't that a sword manual? Su Tianyu quickly opened the sword manual, which was full of blank paper without a single word. Su Tianyu said, "You don't have a single word." Su Hao said, "If there are no words, that's right. The willow leaves will scatter when the wind blows, and when the wind leaves, they will come back without restraint, so naturally there are no sword moves." Su Tianyu said, "There's no sword move, how can I practice it?" Su Hao said, "Sword is better than no sword. It's better to have a sword than to have a sword. You can study it yourself slowly. I have a fish biting my hook, we'll talk later." After saying it, there was no sound. Su Tianyu said, "It's really unreliable. Let's think about it ourselves." Su Tianyu said, "Since there are no sword moves, why don't I create my own set and create my own set?" So he waved his willow sword. A few days later Su Ming came to see Su Tianyu, who waved his willow sword randomly and walked away with a smile. Su Hao said, "Not bad. I just understood the essence of the willow wood sword in a few days." Su Tianyu said, "Liumu sword, don't panic when encountering situations, take down your moves. That's the meaning of Liumu sword." As he spoke, he swung his sword towards a large stone next to him, and the stone shattered in response. Su Tianyu said, "You can see through my moves, but I never knew you could see through my moves." Su Hao. "Next, what are you going to do?" Su Tianyu said, "Creating talismans is not enough just to fix oneself." Su Hao. "Okay, let's start, cultivator." Chapter 6. First Encounter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, Su Tianyu got up and went downstairs. Su Ming stopped him and said, "Tianyu, the Qingshu Academy has been recruiting students recently. You can go and give it a try." Su Tianyu said, "Okay, I can make some talismans along the way." After dinner, Su Tianyu packed his bags and went alone to the Qingshu Academy. On the way, it was a peaceful journey to Baizhou, where the Qingshu Academy is located. Along the way, you will pass through the Tazu Mountains, which are the amusement park of Warcraft. There are many high-level Warcraft distributed here, but that's just the essence and blood of the Warcraft on the outskirts where Su Tianyu is located deep in the mountains. Suddenly, a fire rabbit ran out, and Su Tianyu was overjoyed when he saw it. Low-level explosive talismans, there's a play coming up. As he spoke, he quickly followed suit. After chasing for a long time, I finally took down this fire rabbit, took some essence and blood, and released it. Su Tianyu said, I took a lot of blood essence this time." Su Hao. "Shoo, don't talk." Su Hao pointed behind him. Su Tianyu looked in the direction and saw a person in opposition to a group of people. I saw that person wearing a space necklace, with a space ring on each of their 10 fingers. Su Tianyu said, "Why is he carrying so many things?" "He's mainly wearing a mask." Su Hao said, "It's like someone doesn't like to wear it." Su Tianyu awkwardly touched his head. The person who should be the leader among the group said, "Your Excellency, this water spirit lizard was the one we saw first." The person said, "Oh, really? Everything in the Tazu Mountains belongs to unclaimed things. If you die, who knows it belongs to you?" The group of people all spoke up and said, "Your Excellency, there is only one person. We are all mid-level elemental masters, and some of them are almost reaching higher levels." "Are you sure?" The person said, "There are more people, right? That's okay." After speaking, the ring on his hand flickered, and in the blink of an eye, 6 people appeared. These 6 people were wrapped in silk thread, and at the end of the thread was the person's finger. Su Hao. "Good guy, puppet master. That's enough for those guys to eat a pot." The leader of the person spoke up and said, "What about the puppet master? The earth and wood elements are restraining the puppet, and the rest are attacking the main body with me." The person with the earth element said, "The heavy armor of the earth." The person with the wooden element said, "Light entanglement of wood." Several vines shot out from behind and entangled some of the puppets, while another stopped the remaining puppets. The remaining people split into two waves and attacked the puppet master. Su Tianyu said, "What should we do? That guy feels like he's at a loss." Su Hao said, "What's wrong? Do you still want to help? With just your level, let's watch a play." Su Tianyu said, "Forget it, this guy is cheap. The immobilization talisman I just made hasn't been covered yet." Su Tianyu took a final look at the immobilization talisman, turned around, and threw it out. The person who was splitting into two waves attacking the puppet master suddenly couldn't move in the air and fell directly to the ground. The wooden element at the back said, "What's wrong with you? Hurry up and take action." He couldn't move after speaking. The power of the wooden element disappeared and the vines dispersed. The puppet was untied, and the puppeteer seized the opportunity to control the puppet and beat the earth element person fat. "Puppet master. What's going on?" Su Tianyu walked out and said, "Are you okay? Puppet master. Did you help me?" Su Tianyu said, "Otherwise, there's only one fixed body talisman left from the just made one. Otherwise, if the water spirit lizard asks me to take some blood, you can take it away. How about you let me save some? Otherwise, I'll lose a lot today. Puppet master." "Of course, please do as you please." Su Tianyu happily went to collect some essence and blood. Su Tianyu said, "Brother, I don't know your name yet." The puppet master said, "Brother. Oh, my name is Takashi." Su Tianyu turned around and walked away. "My name is Su Tianyu, and one of those guys is a low-level fixed body. It won't last long. You go quickly." Long Bai smiled and said, "You're such an interesting guy." Then he pulled the water spirit lizard away. Inside the necklace, Su Tianyu said, "Although I lost a lot of fixed points, I gained a lot with the addition of explosive talismans and water shield talismans." Su Hao. "Indeed, hurry up and do it. You're still in the mountains." Su Tianyu said, "That's right." So he intensified the production. Half a day later, Su Tianyu walked out of the forest with two explosive talismans and a water shield talisman. Su Hao said, "It's really stupid. With so much essence and blood, it's all about making these things." Su Tianyu said, "Didn't I do that before?" He awkwardly touched his head. Su Hao said, "We're just ahead of Baizhou. The Qingshu Academy is right in the middle of Baizhou. You can go by yourself, I'll avoid it for now." Su Tianyu said, "Hey, old man, why are you avoiding it? It's really unbelievable." Su Tianyu first found a hotel to stay in and prepared for the entrance exam in the next 2 days. Chapter 7. Suspension of School. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, Su Tianyu arrived at the entrance of the college and told the gatekeeper that after registration, he was taken to the entrance examination area of the college. Many people had already stood around, and in the middle of the examination area was a huge stone pillar. Su Tianyu found a corner and sat down. After a while, almost everyone will arrive. A teacher stood on the high platform and said, "My name is Luha. Welcome to Qingshu Academy. Now we are going to undergo the Xuanhuan test upon admission. First, Long Bai." Su Tianyu. "Long Bai, he's also here." Long Bai came to the middle of the stone pillar, placed his hand on it, and injected mystical power into it. The flames inside the stone pillar shot up several squares in one go. "Lu," he said, 2-star high. Level Mu Yuansu, not bad. After that, the next one is Ouyang Li. Su Tianyu. "Is it from the Ouyang family?" "Lu," he said, 1-star intermediate level Mu Yuansu teacher is also very good. The next one is Frozen Inflammation. Freeze Yen walked forward and exerted force on his palm to inject Xuanli into it. "Lu," he said, "is it a mutated element? Isn't the frozen home always a fire element?" Oh, the frozen inflammation star is a high-level water element master. After a while Lu he said, next up, Su Tianyu. In the venue. Haha, why did this useless person come? Yes, nowadays everyone wants to enter a university. Su Tianyu slowly walked towards the middle. In the office, a person lying in a lounge chair sleeping at noon suddenly opened their eyes and said, finally back. After saying this, they turned around and woke up. Su Tianyu was about to put his hand on it when a figure flowed from the ground and slowly stood up, transforming into a person. Luha said, Dean Qing. Luha bowed and said. Qingyuan Tiandao said, Su Tianyu, right. You don't need to take the test anymore. You've been admitted, come with me. After speaking, he turned around and left. Su Tianyu looked bewildered and decided not to care about others, but followed Qingyuan Tian. Lu he said, oh, everyone continue, next. In the office, Qingyuan Tian sat on a chair and looked at Su Tianyu. Su Tianyu. Dean, what are you asking me for? Qingyuanshan said, I'm asking you, where is Su Hao? Su Tianyu. What Su Hao, my name is Su Tianyu. Qingyuan Tian said, Su Hao, come out on your own, or I'll beat up this child before you come out. Qingyuan Tian stood up. In no time, Su Hao came out of the necklace. Su Hao. Dead old man, what are you doing? Seeing Su Hao's serious face, Qingyuanshan suddenly laughed and said, Pooh, ha ha ha, I'm laughing to death ha ha. Su Hao's face was ugly. Qingyuan Tian laughed and rolled on the ground. Su Hao. Why are you laughing, old man? Su Tianyu. Old man, are you sure this is the dean? Qingyuanshan tried to suppress his smile and stood up, saying, he said he wanted to go out and see, but when he came back, he was beaten into a soul by someone. Ha ha ha, I can't hold it anymore. Su Hao walked over and directly pulled up Qingyuan Tian's beard, saying, what are you laughing at? I'm laughing at pulling up the bald spots for you. Qingyuanshan said, oh my, I was wrong. Don't pull it up. I've already told you, don't pull it up. You didn't play anymore, did you? Let's pull it up. Su Tianyu looked over and felt that the two people in front of him were not experts at all, but rather like two children. Su Tianyu. Cough. The two stopped playing when they heard coughing sounds. Su Tianyu said, did the dean call me over just for this matter? Qingyuanshan said, nature is not, do you not have the awakening element? Su Tianyu said, it's not that I don't have any elements at all. Qingyuan Tian said, no, you have elements, and they belong to elements outside of the 5 elements. Su Tianyu, Su Hao. Beyond the 5 elements. Qingyuanshan said, I can see from your eyes that your strength is definitely not weak, and with that cold feeling in your eyes, I can be 100% sure that your element is ice, but you have not awakened due to certain conditions. Su Tianyu said, Bing, is it tailoring? Su Tianyu looked at the sword seal on his wrist. Su Hao said, Ye means as long as you can awaken the tailoring, your elements will awaken. Su Tianyu said, it's not easy to talk about it. Until now, it hasn't said a word. Qingyuanshan said, I don't know what tailoring is, but you can try your luck on the ice field, but feel free to mention anything you need in the academy. Su Hao said, that's right, just bring it up to death. This old man has a lot of skills. Su Tianyu said, thank you, Dean. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Qingyuanshan said, okay, then I also need to make changes to the files. He picked up his pen and opened the file. Su Tianyu came out of the dean's office and closed the door. Qingyuan Tian said, forget it, let's leave it to Lu and Guy. It's so troublesome, go to sleep. After saying that, he put on his hat and fell asleep. Outside the door, a figure seemed to be waiting for Su Tianyu. Su Tianyu greeted him and said, Long Bai, I didn't expect you to come to this college too. Long Bai said, I didn't expect you to also come to this college. I didn't expect the dean to accept you unconditionally. That's great. Su Tianyu. It's just good luck. Long Bai said, by the way, are you a spiritual talisman master? Su Tianyu. Ah, how do you know? Long Bai said, without any elements, I dare to enter the Tazu mountains alone. In addition, I need essence and blood, and I also have a fixed talisman. If I can't guess, then I'll become a fool. Su Tianyu awkwardly touched his head and said, that's right, I'm a spirit talisman master. However, my current strength is too low, so I can only do low-level skills. High-level monsters cannot be defeated. Long Bai said, I have some essence and blood from Tujia beasts here. How about giving it a try? Su Tianyu said, the Earth Armor Beast, a 1-star 2-turn medium-level demon beast, has amazing defense. Long Bai said, to be honest, I am a puppet master. Taking those essence blood is just to strengthen my puppet. We can cooperate. Su Tianyu said, what kind of cooperation? Aren't we friends? What's the point of cooperation? Just give me a picture once it's done. Long Bai said, okay, friend. Long Bai handed over his essence and blood to Su Tianyu and left. Su Tianyu walked to a deserted place and entered the necklace. Su Tianyu said, old man, hurry up. Medium-level Warcraft essence and blood, you're a white whore. Get up quickly and flip books with me. Su Hao yawned and said, okay. Su Tianyu said, I found the medium-level talisman defense armor. Come on, my first medium-level talisman. Su Tianyu injected blood into the paper, and in no time, it exploded with a bang. Su Hao said, you can't be careful. If you lose all the mid-level essence and blood, that guy won't kill you. Su Tianyu wiped his face and said, I got it, definitely next time. One night later, Su Tianyu woke up and took out 2 talismans from his hand. Unfortunately, his strength was not enough, so he could only have 2. Su Tianyu approached Long Bai and said, I'm sorry, my strength is not enough, only 2. Long Bai said, I don't understand. Is this talisman easy to draw? Su Tianyu said, the soul power of this Warcraft is too strong, almost without even 2 cards. Long Bai took a piece from Su Tianyu's hand and said, I've agreed to give you one, thank you for your hard work. He then left. Su Tianyu. Wait a minute. Long Bai said, what's wrong? Su Tianyu took out 2 talismans and said, one is stationary, the other is exploding. Although they are both low-level, they can start working. I will leave tomorrow and I don't know when I will come back. Maybe I will graduate, or maybe I won't come back. After taking it, Takashi said, where are you going? It's been so long. Su Tianyu said, to become stronger, this is all about teaching cultivation elements. I can't learn it, so it's better to become stronger on my own. Long Bai said, okay, then be careful. I use a spirit talisman master. The next day, Su Tianyu arrived at the dean's office. Xuanhuan said, have you made up your mind? Su Tianyu said, Lu Shaoqian won't wait for me. I only have 5 years, I've figured it out. Xuanhuan said, okay, I have approved your leave of absence. Su Tianyu. Thank you, Dean. Xuanhuan took out a bag of gold coins and said, 300 gold coins. You can't go out without some money, save money. Su Tianyu took it and said, thank you, Dean. I'll leave first, Dean. After Su Tianyu finished speaking, he left the door. Su Tianyu said, the Dean gave 300, the family gave 100, and now there are 400. Su Hao. Why did the old man change his gender? He used to be so stingy, but now he's so generous. Su Tianyu said, anyway, I heard there are sellers of blood essence in the Baizhou market. Why don't you go and take a look? Su Hao. Let's go, we have money anyway. After Su Tianyu left, inside the office, a black mist slowly turned into a person, and the person spoke up, "Miss, have you given me what I want to give to the young master?" Qin Xuanhuan walked to the window and opened it to look at Su Tianyu walking outside, saying, "Here it is. Tell Miss Bai that I am in Baizhou, and no one can move him." The person said, "Thank you so much." After speaking, it turned into black mist and flew away. Chapter 8. Tazu Mountains. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Su Tianyu came out of the market. Su Tianyu said, "Why are these low-level essence and blood so expensive? The money I just received is only 100. Su Hao. It's to prevent you from bargaining." Su Tianyu said, "Didn't anyone teach me this?" He awkwardly touched his head. Su Hao. Just pay attention next time and come in quickly to practice talismans. Su Tianyu responded and returned to the guest room, settling in. Half a day later Su Tianyu slowly woke up and said, "These should be enough. With these explosive talismans, I'm not afraid of going anywhere." Su Hao said, "Not bad. I'm getting more and more proficient in techniques now." I walked to the Tazu Mountains. Su Tianyu. Where and why? Su Hao. I heard there are many treasures over there, maybe you will use them. Su Tianyu said, "Okay, let's go to bed tonight and talk about it tomorrow." Then he lay down and closed his eyes. Su Hao smiled helplessly. The next day, Su Tianyu arrived at the entrance of the Tazu Mountains. At the entrance, it was heard that two hunting groups were fighting in the mountains for a 3-star, 6th-level monster, and were recruiting people to help. Su Tianyu said, "Anyway, there's no goal. Why don't you go and take a look?" Su Hao. Let's go. Su Tianyu followed a few people and after walking for half a day, he saw two teams of people and horses fighting in the forest. Su Tianyu said, "It doesn't look easy to tidy up. Why don't you go steal that warcraft?" Su Hao. It's also thanks to your kid's imagination. Su Tianyu chuckled and came to the back. The two people behind are in opposition. Zhang Qinglong, the leader of the Qinglong hunting group, and Feng Yi from the flame hunting group. Zhang Qinglong said, "This warcraft was clearly discovered by us first." Feng Yi said, "You discovered something good, but we hunted it. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense to you. I'll see the real move with my fist." Just as the two were about to start fighting, Su Tianyu walked out. Su Tianyu said, "Since neither of you can make up your mind, why don't you give it to me?" Feng Yi. What are you? You don't want to die and get lost. Zhang Qinglong said, "That's right, this is between the two of us, and this warcraft should also belong to one of us." Su Tianyu said, "How about this? Let's make a bet. If you two hit me, I'll lose. I'll leave and you guys keep going. If I win, give it to me." Feng thought for a moment and said, "Yes, he looks so young. I don't think he's a master either. It just takes up Zhang Qinglong's stamina." Feng Yi. I have no objection. Zhang Qinglong said, "Then come on, it won't take too long anyway." Su Tianyu said, "You two have great courage. Then I'll take this warcraft, he 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 he." After saying that, he dragged the warcraft's tail and left. The two watched Su Tianyu drag away, but for some reason they couldn't move. Feng Yi. What did you do to us, kid? Zhang Qinglong. Come back, my warcraft. Feng Yi. What's yours? It's clearly mine. Zhang Qinglong. My. Feng Yi. Mine. Su Tianyu said, "Two high-level elemental masters, you can't do without some black hands. Two fixed body symbols can be exchanged for a high-level monster to earn." Su Hao said, "You really know how to do business. Let's go quickly. The fixed talisman won't last long." Su Tianyu said, "I naturally know, so you just give it to me first and I'll try my best to run. Su Tianyu put the warcraft into his necklace. Su Hao said, "Hey, next time can you first say that you hit my foot? Are you really okay? Didn't those two guys say they killed each other? Why are you still angry?" Su Tianyu said, "It's okay, aren't you at the peak of the realm? That's enough to deal with this monster, I'll run first." Su Hao said, "That was a past life. I am now a soul body. Soul, you are not afraid that this thing will make me drink water? Hey, I warn you, don't move. I am the pinnacle of the realm. Hey kid, it has stood up, don't come over." Su Tianyu said, "You old man, taking such a long rest is just like exercising your body." As it was getting late, Su Tianyu found a cave and after confirming the safety of the surroundings, he settled in and put it into his necklace. Inside the necklace, one is chasing behind and the other is running in front, it's quite lively. Su Tianyu said, "It seems that you have been exercising well." Su Tianyu threw out the immobilization talisman, immobilized the monster, and then completely killed it. Su Hao. "Do you want to exhaust me?" Su Tianyu said, "Isn't it okay for you to just exercise?" Su Hao felt a burst of bird songs and floral fragrance, while Su Tianyu was dismantling the body of the warcraft. Su Tianyu said, "It seems like I've made a profit. It's good with water properties. Take out the remaining essence and blood and sell it for money." Just as Su Tianyu opened the head of the warcraft, a golden light shot out, and the light dissipated. A shiny ball was inside the head of the warcraft. Su Tianyu. "Old man, don't curse for now. Come and see what this is." Su Hao. "This means you weren't even listening just now, were you?" Su Tianyu. "Don't talk nonsense, look at this ball." Su Hao approached and said, "Beast crystal, isn't this what the leader of the herd produces? No wonder those two people will earn it." Su Tianyu. "What is the use of beast crystal?" Su Hao. "Beast crystals are very rare throughout the entire continent. If you absorb the corresponding element from the opposite element, the strength of the beast crystals will be greatly improved." Su Tianyu said, "Then I don't have any elements, isn't it useless?" Su Hao said, "There's no element, absorption doesn't have any harm anyway. If you're not afraid of death, just treat it as a dessert after dinner." Su Tianyu said, "Since it's not harmful, why don't I eat it?" Su Hao said, "I'm just joking. You really want to eat this thing? Eating it is equivalent to fighting your own soul with this warcraft soul. Are you sure?" Su Tianyu smiled and said, "I was originally a waste. Since it's a good thing, why not give it a try? If you die, you'll die." Su Hao muttered softly, "It's easy for you to say that. If you die, who can help me find my body? Who can help me revive the Su family?" Su Tianyu. "Alright, help me protect the Dharma." Su Hao. "Okay," he said and flew to the entrance of the cave. Chapter 9. Forgetting Time. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 10. Baizhou Auction. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the cave of the Tazu Mountains, Su Tianyu is trying to use the high-level demon beast essence he just obtained to make talismans. Su Tianyu infused his essence and blood into the talisman paper, drew patterns to infuse mystical energy into it, and his consciousness had also entered the talisman paper. Su Tianyu said, "Next, conquer this guy's soul." 5 days later, Su Tianyu slowly opened his eyes and took out a talisman. Advanced Water Prison Technique. Su Hao. "Not bad, even that kind of monster can be conquered." Su Tianyu said, "What do you know? If it weren't for me absorbing its beast crystals, I would have died a long time ago. Fortunately, I could have drawn it." Su Hao said, "Ha ha ha, let's go. It's been 5 days and it's time to go back to Baizhou to tidy up." Su Tianyu said, that's right, let's go back to Baizhou. After finishing speaking, he stood up and moved his joints before walking towards Baizhou. 3 days later, Su Tianyu also heard that 2 hunting groups were looking for him on the road, so he took a long detour. Su Tianyu said, "Be safe, wear masks. There are too many people from these 2 hunting groups." Su Tianyu took out a black robe and mask from his necklace, put on the black robe, and after putting on the mask, rushed towards the entrance of Baizhou. Su Hao. Not bad, it has the taste of your past life. Su Tianyu said, I have a good appearance, but when will my strength return to its peak? Su Hao. Take your time. Su Tianyu. Su Tianyu disguised himself and went smoothly all the way, then came to the city of Baizhou. I heard on the way that the Baizhou auction is about to start. Su Tianyu. Auction. I just heard someone say there seems to be something good left. Su Hao. You only have those few steel hops left, and you want to starve to death afterwards. Su Tianyu. Go take a look, it doesn't cost any money. Before Su Hao could answer, Su Tianyu had already run to the entrance of the auction. Guard. Stop, identification. Su Tianyu said, what kind of ID? I just want to go inside and take a look. Guard. If you still want to enter without proof, keep going. Su Tianyu. You. Su Hao. You said you want to sell something. Su Tianyu. Oh, I want to sell things. The guard glanced at Su Tianyu and said, follow in. Su Tianyu followed into the auction. Su Tianyu. Hey, old man, when did you crack him? Su Hao said, what's going on here? You want to take action and die. Su Tianyu said, then I really want to sell things. What are you selling? I'm not selling myself. Su Hao was speechless for a moment and said, didn't you draw a new talisman? Selling that one would just make some money. Su Tianyu said, hey, it's just been refined and hasn't been covered yet. Su Hao. Everyone has come in, can't we just wait for someone to blow us out? Su Tianyu said, old man, you wait and you're cheating me again. The guard led Su Tianyu to a room deep in the corridor. The guard knocked on the door and said, Deacon, someone is selling something. Inside the door. Enter. The guard opened the door and Su Tianyu walked in. The guard closed the door. The interior decoration is similar to an office. The deacon lazily said, what are you selling? Su Tianyu took out the newly refined talisman and reluctantly handed it to the person in front of him. The deacon took it, but Su Tianyu didn't let go. After pulling it a few times, the deacon didn't pull it over. So he stood up and pulled it hard, finally pulling the talisman over. After giving Su Tianyu a glance, he looked at the talisman. After seeing the talisman, the arrogant deacon quickly walked up to Su Tianyu, opened his chair, and respectfully said, Respected Master Lingfu, please sit down and have tea. Su Tianyu looked bewildered but also sat down. Deacon. Mr. Lingfu Master, this is a high-level water prison spell from the control department. The starting price I am offering you is 60,000 gold coins. Su Tianyu just drank the tea and spat it out. You say more. Less, 60,000. Deacon. Yes, Mr. Lingfu Master. Your talisman drawing is not very perfect. 60,000 yuan is already the highest. If you trust us, we will arrange the auction for you. Su Tianyu said, it's okay, I can trust the reputation of the auction house. I'll leave it to you. Deacon. Thank you very much for Mr. Lingfu's kindness. This is your brand, and the auction will start after 8 o'clock. Your position is an exclusive VIP seat for Lingfu Masters. Su Tianyu took the sign and walked out. Su Tianyu. Can this talisman be sold for so much money? Su Hao said, ha ha ha, there are very few spirit talismans. Being a spirit talisman requires strong willpower to fight against the souls of monsters, and also requires learning complex spell-drawing techniques. Su Tianyu said, so it's like this. Forget it and we'll wait for tonight's auction. I don't know what's good.